Okay, so this is going to be the first. There are clues throughout the game. So this is going to be the first one in chapter one. Something rotten in the air, and this is like right before you. This is in the area you first come out of. You know, like in that little kitchen area or
She
whatever.
was
But
out on
like,
one of the balconies, and I hoped not about to be thrown off it.
but you're just gonna walk in here, and instead of going out the door, you know where you do that slow motion shoot, that slow motion shootout on the balcony, you're going to break off to the left, and
Sooner or later, I'd have to go out there and see what was happening.
you're going to come up to this table right here, and it's going to be this magazine right here.
Trashy magazines and pretty trashy people. I just hoped I could keep them out of the crime section.
Be the second clue in chapter one. So you're going to just you're going to go through the garage, and you're just going to go the way you normally would, and on your way up this ramp, you're going to find a photo
The
of
great thing about being famous as well as rich is the bad guys know who to kidnap.
Fabiana and Rodrigo. But yeah, those are the first two clues in the game, and the two clues in chapter one, something rotten in the air. Okay, so this is going to be the first twos in chapter two, nothing but the second best, and this is in the VIP lounge. You know, after you do your first slow motion shootout, after you dive out of that window. So you're gonna walk up and you're gonna break off to the left at this table right here, and it's gonna be this dead guy, this dead soccer player.
Poor bastard's name was Claudio. I found out later he was a pretty big shot soccer player for the Galatians, some nearly superstar just back from Europe. The usual. Scored goals, scored girls. The only box he'd be getting into now is the one he'd be leaving in.
And the second clue is going to be at this bar. It's going to be this flyer.
It was your typical trendy hellhole. A playground for the overpreened and undernourished. Sushi and house music and vodka. A place you don't get through the door unless you're rich, beautiful, or, in this instance, it seemed, a heavily armed psychopath.
Okay, so this is going to be the third clue in chapter two. So this is going to be like right after you exit that second club area, you know, where it's got like the DJ booth and the bar and stuff. But like you're gonna come into this bathroom, and it's going to be in the second stall. It's gonna be this ex-cop right here.
Don't shoot, por favor.
You an American?
Sure. Yeah, I'm from Steele, North Dakota, just outside of Bismarck. Andrew Stetling. This is some place, huh? They told me it was a little fresh, but I wasn't expecting things to be quite like this.
No?
No, see, I've seen things. I was a cop for 25 years. I've seen men run over by combines. I've seen husbands who just ate their wives, but a gunfight at a disco.
You were a cop?
Yeah, just retired. Oh, what a life that was. And it gave me the money to raise a family. Oh, I got a girl at college in Wisconsin and a boy who's playing football for Minnesota State. You want to see their picture?
No, that's all right. Sounds nice. Listen, stay in here. Don't be a hero.
Oh, I won't. I'm retired.
Happy, healthy ex-cop? Give me a break.
Okay, the fourth clue is this torn fabric. It's a piece of Fabiana's dress. Just like before you go out the door.
Loud and expensive enough to be Fabiana's. Her fashion sense didn't leave a whole lot of room for imagination, let alone food. The girl sure knew how to draw the eye, and maybe that was the problem. But at least it was heading in the right direction.
Chega! Que porra você tá fazendo? Como assim?
Okay, so the fifth clue is going to be inside of this kitchen. You know, after you get out of the nightclub, well, out of the clubs area. But you're going to come in here, and there's going to be some guys you're going to need to kill, and you're gonna come to this back counter, or to this side counter, I guess. And you're just gonna break off to the left a little bit, and it's going to be right here.
Political campaign was starting to come unstuck. Seemed the Broncos' luck was on the turn. If only that was the worst news they'd received that day.
Okay, so this is going to be the final clue in chapter 6, or not chapter 6, chapter 2, nothing but the second best. So this is going to be the sixth and final one. So this is like after you chase down Giovanna, you know, after you were covering her in the helicopter with that rifle. But you're gonna come into this stairwell, and You're gonna go down the
This was a
3 flights
mess.
of stairs.
Where the hell was Passos? We were 2 failed cops failing miserably at being bodyguards. He approached everything with about as little preparation as I did. Maybe that's why we got along.
And basically, it's going to be her necklace, Giovanna's necklace.
It was Giovanna's necklace. I had to hope the rest of her was still intact.
It's going to be the first clue in chapter 3, just another day at the office. And this is like right after, this is like when after you get into that first shootout you get into. You know, after you bandage up Max is wounded, after Max gets his arm bandaged up. So you're just gonna stand up and you're gonna turn around. You're gonna go off into this back room right here, off to the right. So you're gonna turn around. You're gonna walk in here. It's gonna be a picture of Victor.
Mr. Victor Bronco. For all his friends in high places, he had just as many enemies.
What are you waiting for? Let's
Shut
go.
up, shut up, Passos. But the next clue is just going to be
Come on, let's get out of here.
next clue is just going to be like right before you get on the elevator. So it's going to be right at this door.
Our $3 million man had locked the doors behind him.
Okay, so this is going to be the third clue in chapter 3. So like this is like right after you evade the sniper for the first time. You know, after you you figure out like that the guys you're fighting are like seriously financed and whatever, and you duck into that hallway and you like Passos tells you to wait. But you're just gonna walk a little bit forward.
The chance.
Just gonna walk forward, and you're going to look at this pillar on the on the right.
Luckily for us, the blood money was still bleeding.
Okay, so this is going to be the final clue in chapter 3, just another day at the office. And this is like after you like clear out that VIP lounge and you're going to exit. So when you get to the very back of it, you're going to come across this memorial for that soccer player, Claudio.
It was time to get out of this Hall of Fame before somebody added my face to the wall.
And it's going to be just right here. You know, so like, yeah.
Claudio, their golden boy, but sure picked the wrong party on the wrong night. Although if the past week was anything to go by, it was safe to assume any party with the Broncos in attendance was the wrong one to be at.
Okay, so this is going to be the first clue in chapter 4. Anybody could buy me a drink, and this is like in Max's apartment. It's his badge, his old police badge. So instead of going out the door, you're just gonna cut off to the left, and you're gonna go behind the couch. It's just gonna be sitting
This
right
old
here.
guy, my days of playing dress up were over. I wasn't some gallant knight. I didn't need a shield. It was hard seeing Brewer go out like that, but I got to thinking it was what he was waiting for, a chance to make a difference. At least that's what helps me sleep at night.
Okay, so this is going to be the second and third clues in chapter 4. Anybody could buy me a drink. So like this is after Brewer blows himself up. You're just gonna cut into his apartment. You know, it's on the right. So you're just gonna
The
walk in here.
apartment made me wish I'd got to know him better.
And the first clue is going to be his journal, or his manifesto is
It
what it's
made
called.
for interesting reading. If I'd been given a few more years looking into the bottom of a glass, I might have been on the same page.
And then the last clue is going to be some newspaper clippings on the
Looked
wall
like
right
he
here.
was keeping an eye on me. Must have thought we were kindred spirits. More and more, I think he was right.
There's only 3 clues in this level, or this mission, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this is going to be the first clue in chapter 5, alive if not exactly well. So this is like right after you get off the right after you get off the boat that you and Passos were on. So you're just gonna walk straight forward, and you're gonna come up to this fence, and you're going to examine. It's this helicopter right here.
Looked like Passos had brought us to the right place. That was the chopper the Commando Sombra used to escape the nightclub attack. If Fabiana wasn't around here, then at least someone that knew where she was had to be. Here I was, some hopped-up gringo a long way from home, making trouble the only way I knew. As the weather worsened, I caught a...
Okay, so this is going to be the second clue in chapter 5. So this is like right after like you have the little shootout in the warehouse, like the guys, like you see Fabiana on the video camera, but like you see her being tortured. But it's going to be this ransom note. You're just gonna turn around onto and see it on this table.
They probably made their ransom notes from the same glossy magazines they used to select their victims. This was a second request for payment. The best of intentions at the stadium weren't enough to cover it.
This is going to be the third clue in chapter 5. So like this is like after you find the chair that Fabiana is sitting in. So you're just going to examine the camera.
They'd been making a reality show starring Sao Paulo's favorite housewife. Probably thought it would grease the wheels with the ransom money, but it only made me want to shove the cash down their throats.
To be the fourth clue in chapter 5. This is like in that like right after you do that slow motion dive off the boat after it gets shot at. So you're going to you're just gonna cut into this little office like to open the garage door like you normally would, but there's going to be a photo of the Bronco family on this table right here.
It seemed Serrano's boys had targeted the entire Bronco family and didn't give a shit which one they pinched.
Okay, so this is going to be the fifth clue in chapter 5. So this is in that warehouse, you know, that second warehouse you go into after you basically you have that slow motion shootout after you jump out of that boat. But you're going to come in here and you're going to basically, instead of going up the steps, you're just going to cut behind them, and you're going to break off to the right, and it's going to be on the right.
Serrano was reading his reviews. Vain chump. The newspaper was plastered with the news of the first kidnapping attempt.
And then the next one, you're just gonna turn around and go into this little
that gangway would get me through.
This little office building thing right here.
These were the floor plans to the nightclub. Seemed Mr. Serrano like to be prepared. Proper little Boy Scout.
And that would be the last one. There's only 6 clues in this mission. Okay, so this is going to be the first and second clue in chapter 6. A dame, a dork, and a drunk. So like this is in the first area. So instead of you're going to you're just gonna come out here and you're just gonna go to the right. The first one is gonna be back up against this wall right here.
I didn't have time to thumb through the old phrase book Portuguese, but it looked like Victor was asking for campaign contributions. Rodrigo held the family purse strings, and by the looks of it, he held them pretty tight.
And the second one is just going to be, behind this desk.
They'd been keeping an eye on Fabiana from afar. Shame they'd been more interested in supposed infidelities than thugs sizing her up for a snatch.
Okay, so this is going to be the third clue in chapter 6. So this is like in the boardroom, like after you have your second firefight. So you're just going to walk up, and it's going to be this model of this building. So you're just going to break off to the left a little bit, and it's going to be right here.
It was a lot shinier than a favela, and rent would be easier to collect. Maybe Bronco would take pity on all the poor bastards who got evicted. I just had to keep him alive to find out.
Okay, so this is going to be the fourth clue in chapter 6. Chapter 6. So like this is going to be like right after you see the little cutscene of Rodrigo steps out of his office and Max tells him to go back inside. But you're just going to walk across this this pathway right here, and you're going to examine these photos.
Graduation shots of Rodrigo, Victor, and Marcelo, educated at rich kid finishing schools all over Europe. No wonder they had the common touch.
Okay, so this is going to be the final clue for chapter 6, and this is like after the building explodes and you come across the you just come across that lone guy, and he tries to shoot you and you take his gun, but you're just gonna walk forward and you're gonna find the body of that dead IT guy you were helping out.
I was in no state to save his body from the flames. I hadn't saved him from the gunman either. I'm sorry, kid.